Hey guys, today we're going to be listening to Pretty Poems by Tank and the Bangas, a new EP they got out.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, talk about the general album track by track, and give our ratings. You are too much. You are too much,
You
sir.
fucking. Oh shit! I don't know why I started recording on Skype.
Yeah, this is Tank and the Bangas. I believe they're from New Orleans, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
you're right.
I know we
We
sussed
should
that
know
out
more because we
before.
love this fucking band.
Yeah, we talked about Red Balloon last year, and it was like in the running for best album of the year.
Yeah.
I remember it was so well produced, and all the songs. There was a lot of variety. There was a lot of catchiness, a lot of great like musicality and production.
The production, I was gonna say, like, it's just incredible. And then the supposedly the bassist of the band reached out to us allegedly on
Reached
YouTube.
out. He commented on the video.
Yeah, that's what I didn't. Okay, whatever.
He DM'd us privately. He's
Just
like,
meant
"Don't tell anyone," but
you know what I meant.
like,
You know what I meant. I'm just saying that was cool. If it was real, if it was true, I'm still skeptical. I don't
and
know
I
what to
well, I
believe.
100% just believe it because I want to.
Yeah, well, that's the power of love.
That's right.
But yeah, I had no idea they were coming out with a new EP, and this is exciting. I really like Tank and the Bangas, man. Ever since that, like we said on the last episode, the Tiny Desk concert, that
Yeah.
I don't know if I stumbled upon it or if you recommended it to me. I can't remember, but so good and so much like fun energy in their music, and the combination of being fun and kind of silly and then also like badass at the same time, and being able to flip flop between the two.
Yeah.
And it
But
just sounds like they're
even
having so much fun, you know?
and they've changed a good bit since that tiny desk. You know?
Do you think so?
I think so. I think from Red Balloon at least, it's always been a very lyric focused band. It's always been like very based in Tank and what she's saying.
Mm,
Is that I I have not like gone into them since that album. Is
Red
her name
Balloon.
Tank? Is she
I
is that
still,
her?
dude, literally, I was, again, we should know a lot more about this band because we like them a lot. But I don't know, man. I felt like that Tiny Desk concert had the same type of spirit to them, and a lot of the playful back and forth with the backup vocalists, and but with the Tiny Desk, I think they have to strip it down a little bit because they're in that like
Sure.
little space. So if you're talking about like the music, where like Red Balloon was just so big and like all over the place, and they went back and like from trap to soul and all that stuff, I think they were doing that from the get-go, like mixing those two worlds together, where it's like the singer's kind of like rapping over this really jazzy thing, but with the cadence that she's rapping in is very trap, and it's just really a cool mix of stuff. But I don't know, I and again, I don't know enough of their stuff to feel like to say for sure if I think they've changed a lot or not.
But we'll at least know how much they've changed in 1 year
Yeah.
since they released their last record.
Yeah, kind of exciting. This has Masego on it, and a few other features who I don't know who they are, so I'm excited to hear them.
No. Uh,
But yeah, this should be fun, man. A fun 16 minutes is what I'm expecting.
yeah, I'm gonna try to keep up with the lyrics as well as I can, because
Yeah,
that's just such an important part of the band. But we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep up right now, but it's okay.
Okay. You don't have the capacity for it.
I'm just it's been a week, you know. But if you guys are watching this on YouTube, stick around and you're gonna get our review of the whole album, and our ratings and our two songs. But if you actually want to hear our track by track commentary, go to Spotify. You'll be able to listen to that and actually like hear the song and then listen to what we think about right after the songs. So yeah, stick around. I'm ready to get into this.
All right, let's do it. We're starting off with DM Pretty Poems, Tanking the Vengas. Let's go.
I'm excited. I'm confused by this album, but I loved it. And
I like it just without any other context, just being itself. Like it was really good. And maybe it is just what Tank thinks is like her prettiest poems. You know?
that is a oh my god. All right, so we just got done listening to Pretty Poems by Tank and the
We're not gonna
Bangas.
talk about that last song at all?
I mean, I feel like we're gonna get into it eventually.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I
If you
mean,
say so.
this is this album. I think you were nailing it just now. I was like, it feels like I kind of predicted when we were going into it, not really predicted at all, actually, but I was just thinking it would be really cool if Tank of the Bangas ever wrote a musical because I feel like they would really pull it off. And this
Right.
kind of feels like the beginning of that a little bit.
They've always been theatrical
Yeah.
in their vibes, especially with the vocalist always trading these delivery styles,
Yeah.
at a moment's notice. And in this last song, there were like little whispers, and there's this air of like, there's this kind of air of held back anger that
Yeah.
is, that was tangible to me.
There was like some, yeah, there was some tension at times, even though most of these songs were really buttery smooth
Ugh,
and jangly jingly, like just sparkly music and
yeah.
so soulful and I think they didn't go so much in the playful side of things that they usually do. They were obviously it's very fun this type of music to listen to, but it's like it seemed a little more serious this album.
Yeah, it seemed a little more personal, a little
Yeah.
more. Yeah. Uh,
Like you have songs like Black Folk that just really good and just it is just a poem. You know, she's reciting a poem and singing at the same time at times and it's just like so good and the music is just so like you said just juicy as fuck and just amazing just
yep.
instrumentation and then you go into like There Goes the Neighborhood that was kind of where in Black Folk she's like celebrating black people and their culture and then in There Goes the Neighborhood she's kind of like talking about how gentrification kind of is
Yeah.
just this thing that they have to deal with and
Yeah.
kind of a really like I think I felt a little bit of the maybe frustration in that song for sure.
Mm.
And even like an Easy Goes It a little bit and even DM Pretty like those songs like there are moments where she is kind of like she does sound a little frustrated, a little angry.
Yeah. And it's weird because that's not usually emotion that singers can pull off in music, but I think just the content of the lyrics as well, and
Right.
how she approaches writing her lyrics,
So
is
good,
just
man.
so good and such a unique voice,
Yeah.
and the band is just on point at
Like
all times.
when we were listening to this, I kept thinking to myself, like, is this the best band, one of the best bands that's out there right now that like I feel like not enough people know about? Like, is somehow
That,
Tank and the Bangas like they should be way fucking bigger. They are
they
so good.
they are really good, man, and I think it's just
I feel like this is music for everyone.
I
Genuinely.
think it seems like they have maybe pushed aside getting more popular just to keep themselves into their music and to keep that kind of aspect of poetry and freedom in their music rather than be, I don't know, try to
I don't
go
know.
a little poppier, a little catchier, a
Yeah.
little more approachable.
Yeah, because I was thinking that too. I'm just like, this is one of the best bands out there, like kind of like King Gizzard, where I feel like King Gizzard is like people are starting to kind of wake up to them in the last few years of just like how amazing this band is, and it's just like Tank and the Bangas have like 400,000 listeners on Spotify, and I think it should be That's a lot of people, and it should be
They
way more than that.
they've been going since at least 2013. That's as far back as I could
Okay.
get in the discography.
Okay.
But they've been going for 10 years now. Maybe this is some kind of celebration EP.
Yeah, because we kind of picked up that some of these songs are on previous records, and these remakes, like kind of their let's re-record it, let's do what we maybe they thought of a new idea or something. Because I don't know any of these songs outside of this album except for was it Easy Goes It when we were
Easy
like,
goes
oh,
it,
that
yeah.
was on Red Balloon,
Yeah.
and then Ants was on Green Balloon, right?
Yeah.
Are they doing like
But
the Weezer thing?
I don't know. It was like we don't really have the I don't know. I guess we could listen to the songs real quick and see, but
Later.
all right, later, yeah.
I'm going to though. Like it's funny because we listened to Red Balloon and that was the first actual full album I'd listened to
Yeah.
by Tank and the Bangas, and then this like the follow up. Yeah, really good, man. Just generally like a fucking great EP. Like I don't know how to overstate it. Just everything across the board is just top notch.
What are you gonna give it?
You know, it sucks because it's so short. Then I'm like, man, I want this to be like 8 songs, you know, maybe 9.
Sure. Yeah.
And I want it to follow the same idea where a lot of it is just kind of spoken word poetry and then they kind of break out into song at times. I really, really liked it, man. And I don't know, I'm gonna have to give it a 9.0.
Yeah, for just that little excerpt of their discography, um, God, it's just really in a way it is simple, you know. It's
What, the
like,
music?
well, like it's just
There's a lot going
poetry,
on.
and they're doing a lot
Right.
of really good music behind it.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is like this is something that could be easily uh taken to a level that I find kind of unappealing or
Yeah,
like cheesy a little bit. But
yeah.
because we have to figure out the singer's name. I want to
Uh,
it's yeah, her nickname's Tank.
okay.
And so I feel like just Tank is what is a big reason why they pull off how cool they pull off every mood, the cool, the pretty, the sad, the angry, you know, they pull it all off because of her, and then this amazing backing band that is just
Yeah.
such a match made in heaven. Like they go perfect together. So like this is something that could be kind of like the thing that you would expect to hear at like a poetry night or something or like a jazz night somewhere, but pushed to the level of just like this is cooler than any of that shit you're gonna hear at those little lounge bars. You know, way
Yeah.
cooler.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm gonna probably give it like an 8.5. It was like, same reason, same range.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say I wish it was longer, but we have 10 years of shit that we could go back to. We
Yeah.
have no famine for tanking the Bangas material.
I gotta ask though, the 8.5.
Yeah.
What is there that didn't get into a 9?
Um, I I don't know, man. Like maybe no EP would ever get into a 9 for me.
That's why I felt weird giving it a 9. That's why I was curious, like why you didn't go through because I'm like, this was so good, but it feels weird giving like a 5-song EP such a high score. But I'm like, these are 5 really fucking good songs. Like what a you
And
know?
yeah. And I also feel like not knowing the full context of the album is like if it is just a best of, like of course it's gonna be pretty high up. Right?
Right.
Uh and then if we reviewed more EPs, maybe I'd have more of a good baseline and more of a good like ideology on how to rate EPs.
Right.
But I don't know. 8.5 just seems right to me. It's so smooth. It's so fucking tasty and the lyrics are interesting.
Yeah, lots of really good grooves the whole album, like so good.
But I mean, in comparison to Red Balloon, like where it's got all that and more, like
True.
that's a good fucking album. And I don't remember what I gave it, but I hope it was at least in the nine.
I think it was in the nines. I think we both fell in love with that record. But with that said, man, 9.0, 8.5. I think every single song is probably an honorable mention for us on this album. So like,
Yeah, right.
right?
Like, I think I think you're gonna go with Black Folk and Ants, and I'm gonna go with Ants and There Goes the Neighborhood.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
All right, cool. Let's talk about it.
Uh,
Because you weren't.
well, no, there goes a neighborhood I liked. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to like skip over it or anything, but that's why I assumed we were gonna get into it. You know, because like there's only 5 songs. Like we can talk about all of them if we want to. But yeah, Black Folk is definitely one of my favorites.
I think
Definitely.
the thing that set. Yeah, Black Folk is very good. I feel like it didn't. Like we obviously both really loved
Yeah,
Ants.
Ants is
You
my
know,
second. Ants is my second favorite. Like no doubt.
the
Yeah.
songwriting of it and the way they choose to format this song is really cool, and like sometimes those laid back drums can hit harder than like the loudest drum set, you know? Sometimes
Yeah,
just like a cross stick and a hi-hat can just fucking get that point across.
because they have such like they're so in the pocket as a band, but they also all have like such good swing to them, you know, that it's
They
just
got a
like
good feel.
they're tight. Yeah, like they're tight and somehow like loose and flowy and like just jamming the whole time too. And Black Folk just has this like, you know, just like all their other songs, but in a, you know, different variation of it, of just the electric piano and that really like springy synth that they're doing. That's like very 80s, like you know, jazzy synth.
Yeah.
And just the bass is amazing. Masego was great on it. I think he played saxophone. I'm not 100% sure on there.
Not sure.
There
Could have
was a
just done
good
the music or
there was a
something.
good verse by, I'm guessing was Alex Isley did the
Yeah.
verse. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, Black Folk is just it's just a great song, man. It's one of those things that it reminded me of a cool brand that's based out of Southern California called The Future is Color, and the whole thing is like celebrating black people and their culture. And one of the shirts I bought from them, the message on it is like, you can't love the culture and not support the people a little bit. And well, I
Sure.
mean, that's what it says. You can't love the culture and not support the people, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what some of the messaging was on like Black Folk and There Goes the Neighborhood, where it's like, you know, you love black culture and like listening to their music and everything, but then it's like you're gonna push them out of neighborhoods and gentrification and, you know, all this stuff. And then Black Folk was more like a celebration of all the beautiful things that, you know, what is black culture. And it was just a really nice, positive song to listen to, and just like sonically amazing to listen to.
Yeah.
I'm stoned, and this album was awesome.
I'd say the only thing that gets There Goes the Neighborhood above Black Folk for me is I really enjoyed Tank's delivery on the whole thing,
Yeah.
and I feel like she really carried it across. But I mean, it was just like that much. All the songs on this EP are great. Check it out. This could be a great entry point in the Tank and the Bangas. I would
Yes.
recommend Red Balloon as well. That's a pretty long one, but I don't think you'll regret it.
So good. I have to say that I think Ants, I know that it came out in like what, 2019 or something originally, but I don't know if this is a different version. Whatever. This Ants is like one of the best songs I've heard this year. By
It's-
far.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the best song on the album on this EP, and one of the best songs I've heard this year. Like Ants was amazing.
Hopefully, later down the line, we'll get more information on it. Maybe this album will be in like the Earbuds annual like Buddy
Oh,
Awards. I don't know. I
I
don't know how that's gonna play out.
I would not be surprised. The switch up on Ants was amazing, and we both made fucking like stink faces like multiple times.
Just looking like old Muppets. Just
Oh, just like we suck on a lemon.
yeah. Thank you all for listening, tuning in, watching the whole episode. You can find us at EBPcast on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube, on Spotify. We have previews or full versions of the songs right before we talk about them for like a track by track reaction and discussion. So I think that's always fun to kind of have right there, be real fresh. Thank you all for commenting or liking or subscribing or whatever. If you
man.
happen to do that, if you didn't do that, fuck you.
Yeah, we don't
Fuck
want you
off.
anymore.
We don't want you.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. So you're just trying to hit someone and you're just so weak.
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Stop.
Stop it. I'm just listening to ants now, man. I'm done.
Ugh.
I'm cooked.
Lucas, this was good.
This was fucking good, man.
See ya, buddy.
Bye.